Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today we're just going to do a little bit of a chat or a discussion, whatever you want to call it. Rosanna posted a really great discussion video a couple days ago. I will link to that down in the description below. But basically in the video she talks about the idea of there being a mainstream on YouTube and the barriers to entry to creating content. One of the things that's highly touted by people who love YouTube is the fact that there's barely any barrier to entry, which is very much not true. Besides the fact that it completely ignores that you need a certain level of technology in order to access YouTube, like some sort of internet-enabled device, internet in general. If you want to create content, you need a camera of some kind that creates digital video. And while these things are all becoming more accessible to more people, it isn't necessarily a thing that everyone has access to. But that doesn't even cover the fact that YouTube content itself is evolving and changing, and the quality of the content on this website is increasing every single day, which is great because people are able to create things that were in years past completely inaccessible to you unless you had millions of dollars in a studio behind you. And now you can get some of the best technology out there at your local store, at least if you live in a country like the United States or England or something like that. But the fact that there are so many people out there who are creating such high quality content in terms of the camera quality, the video quality, the sound quality, it means that a lot of people are perceiving YouTube to be this thing that only creates that level of content. There was another video that was released this week by this channel called The Nerd Writer. It's called YouTube is the Medium, I believe is the name. I will have a link to that video down in the description as well. And one of the points that he talks about in there is about how the style of the content for every medium will change depending on the medium. So like the way that content is presented on radio is different than the way it's presented on television, is different than the way it's presented in movies, and is now different than the way it's presented in YouTube. And one of the points that he brings up is the fact that lo-fi is something that is embraced on YouTube that has actually become part of its aesthetic. And one of the examples that he uses is daily vlogs. And there is some truth to that matter, but I think that what we think of as lo-fi now isn't actually lo-fi. A lot of the clips that he used in that portion of the video when he's talking about lo-fi are actually just older videos that people created using the best technology that was available at that time to them. So lo-fi content is actually not something you see very frequently on YouTube. I mean, even me, I'm sitting here using a DSLR to record this video. I've never been on YouTube and not had a DSLR available to me, so I've always had high quality video available. And a lot of people see my channel and they might see like my crappy lighting or the fact that I didn't know how to use a tripod 3 years ago, but they see that you need a certain level of video quality or you need video editing software in order to put videos up on YouTube, and then they don't have access to those things, so then they don't. So there is this hierarchy to YouTube content. And even just looking at people who are slightly more popular, you don't see anyone who's using a lo-fi camera. You don't see anyone who's using like their webcam. When you're starting out now, you don't necessarily have all those options available to you. And even just for myself, I feel this pressure all the time, even though I've been doing YouTube for a certain amount of years now, and I have a pretty decent audience. I still feel the pressure that my videos have to be of a certain quality and that my content needs to fit into a certain constraints, I suppose you could say, or certain definitions. A little while back, a couple of us on Twitter were talking about bullet journaling, but I'm a big fan of bullet journaling. I've been doing it forever. Susie from Susie Read suggested that I make a video talking about my bullet journal and the way that I bullet journal, because I don't do it exactly the way that's described. Like, I've changed it a little bit to work a little bit better for me, and I really considered doing it, and I still kind of do want to do it. But one of the barriers that I've had to making that video is the fact that my bullet journal doesn't look pretty. I've been using like this moleskin, which is a nice moleskin, for like 2 years now, but mine is just not pretty. Like, my writing isn't that great. I don't like draw on my pages to make them look all pretty. A lot of times I'm just like scribbling notes on the side because I'm just like quickly trying to jot things down. The best looking thing about my bullet journal is the fact that I use different colored pens, but there are like pages with stains on them. So I haven't made a productivity or bullet journaling video because I didn't think my journal looked that pretty. And no joke, right after Susie made that suggestion that I do a bullet journaling video and I started to feel self-conscious about my bullet journal, journal, I went to the store to see if I should buy some washi tape to make my journal look prettier. There are a lot of people who have bullet journaling videos on YouTube, and the ones that I liked the most were the ones that were more aesthetically appealing. Like the ones that I as a viewer liked watching were the ones where the people had the washi tape going on the side and like did a fun design to show the month, had all these fun symbols, and their handwriting was really nice and they used all these fancy pens, and that's just not me. Those lifestyle vlogs are so nice looking that I would be so intimidated to make content like that. And this is definitely a thing that's been discussed on BookTube before, with people feeling like they have to read certain books if they belong on BookTube, or they have to own a certain amount of books, do book hauls, buy books, talk about the books that everyone else is talking about, sit in front of their bookshelves so you can see their pretty books, which all is great, but if you don't do those things, you can still be a booktuber too. But I think there is a slight bias within the audience to want a certain type of content from booktubers, and if you don't provide that content, you're not going to get as many subscribers or views, which I think is a thing that is okay. Like, people have to become okay and not make their goals to be subscriber numbers or view counts or things like that, but it can be frustrating if you're creating content and no one is watching it. And when it comes down to it, it's really hard to not care about the numbers and to not care about how many views you're getting, how many subscribers you're getting. It's hard not to compare yourself, and it's hard not to want that for yourself. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that it always comes down to is the fact that if you want to create content on YouTube, you should do it if you have the means. Like, if you have a camera of some sort, and if you have the ability to upload video, and you want to be a YouTuber, then you have to be a YouTuber. But I think you also have to understand that it isn't easy to do it. If you're doing it just to get 1 million subscribers, or, you know, whatever number, then you're going to be unsatisfied because you're doing it for other people's approval, which is never going to be a thing that satisfies you, no matter what area of life you're doing it for. You have to just create the content because you want to make it and be a part of the conversation. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm just rambling now. So leave a comment down below if you have anything to add to the conversation. I would love to talk about this with you. If you create content, what you perceive to be the barriers to entry, or if you're someone who just watches YouTube, talk about what you as a viewer perceive to be as a barrier of entry, because I feel like there can sometimes be a divide or a disconnect between what creators actually have as a barrier to entry, like once they've actually done it, compared to what people who are just looking in and who have never done it before might perceive to be a barrier of entry. And I think it'd also just be interesting to talk about our own biases when it comes to watching videos. Like, personally, I'm someone where it's like, if you create a video that's over 15 minutes long, there's a very good chance that I won't watch it personally, just because I don't have the time to watch 15-minute videos all the time, which I feel bad about all the time, because people on BookTube create great content, but sometimes if their content is longer, I just can't watch it because I don't have the time. It's something I've been trying to work on, and to be more open to people who make longer content, but at the same time, it's hard when you have a full subscription box full of videos and you see ones that are like 15-20 minutes long and you have like 100 videos to get through. So yeah, this has just been a rambly discussion video, so leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Alright, bye.